Config 2022, let's go.
Let's
Yeah.
go.
Let's go. Yeah.
Mika. All right. Hello, everybody. My name is Dylan. I'm co-founder of Figma, and as of right now, 8:13, I think, Pacific time on May 10th, 2022, I'm coming to you live from San Francisco. I'm so excited you're all here. Welcome to our first 24-hour config. Today, we're coming together as a global community to celebrate design, creativity, and collaboration. We have 68 sessions, 100 speakers, and I feel so lucky to be together with all of you. I also have so much gratitude for everyone in our community that's contributed to this moment. We would not be here without all of you. And today, these are scary and uncertain times for many of us.
Hello.
It's easy to feel helpless
Hello,
when forces larger than ourselves are at play. But we are not helpless. We are designers, builders, creatives, and we have the ability to shape the world around us. Maybe you want to enable economic access.
Yep, you have
Reimagine how homes help our climate, or spread the message of peace.
喂，虎哥的名字还是俄文字符。
You want to happen. If you want to change something locally or globally, there's nothing stopping you. I hope some of the content shared over the next 24 hours, brought to you by speakers from 24 countries, every continent except Antarctica, will inspire you to be bolder and act with more urgency. I also want to thank Nike and its digital product design teams for teaming up with us on this keynote. Over many decades, Nike has found ways to continually explore the brand promise that everyone is an athlete. And at Figma, we believe that everyone can be a designer. In the spirit of that, last year we introduced FigJam to help bring more people into the earliest stages of the design process. And this year, we're introducing new ways to work in Figma and in FigJam to share your ideas and connect design with code. So let's dive in. And again, everything you see is live. So internet, please wish me luck. Hopefully nothing breaks. All right. So we're going to open up today and start in FigJam. Welcome to Config. Here's a brainstorm doc that we've done together as a team to promote Config. And so you can see that we've basically worked together to create some stickies. And that's because FigJam is a really nice open space to have that open canvas and to riff off of each other's ideas. One feature that we recently introduced is sections. You can see here is a good way to categorize and group ideas into different sections. And so you can see here that we have some stickies that have received reactions, friends of Figma watch parties across the world to promote config, highlighting new features we shipped with appearances from product and engineering weeks today, exclusive new swag drops, get excited, and there's also some ideas that we didn't go with after all. And you can see that we've kept on going here, and we've done a lot of different things to figure out how we can promote and do a wrap up. And now that we've had this brainstorm completed, you can see that we now want to get to a place where these ideas are turned into a more solidified plan. But often that work happens in other tools. So today, as our first announcement, we're excited to launch a few integrations that will help make that happen.
茂哥，字幕能调大吗？
Our new Jira widget. With this widget, first let me show you how to insert it. I can just search for Jira. And you'll see here my Jira widget that I can just drag in to the canvas. And with this, I can take ideas from FigJam and bring them right into Jira. And I can take tasks from Jira and bring them into FigJam. So for example, I can highlight these different stickies, press turn stickies into issues. I can choose a project, config launch, issue type, task, and press convert stickies. I can also import an issue or project as well, or I can edit an issue. So for example, I can say, hello world. Not sure why I'm saying that, but then go to priority, and I can actually change the priority to something else and save my changes. And this will all sync live to Jira. Of course, we know that not everyone is working in the same tools. And so we've also introduced 2 other widgets as well, for Asana and for GitHub integration. With the Asana widget on the left, I can use that to also bring tasks and projects in from Asana, or turn stickies into tasks. And with this GitHub widget on the right, you can create new issues and also bring new issues right into FigJam. So with all this, when you're wondering what is a widget, if you haven't encountered them already, widgets are kind of like a Figma plugin that lives on your canvas. Everyone in FigJam can see and interact with the same widgets with you. In addition to working together, teams need a way to bond and have fun in FigJam. FigJam is all about collaboration, play, and that spirit of being able to riff off of each other. And we think that widgets are a really good way to do that in the context of a team brainstorm or a team meeting. So we've been really inspired by the community. For example, some widgets that I've really enjoyed recently, Whose Turn Is It by Ellen Lee, Table by Gavin, and Navigate by Amin. We've actually have Navigate set up here. I can press here and it'll go to the different section. And so we've been experimenting with some different widgets internally. They start off as just hacks and have grown into some things that we're going to ship today. So today we're releasing a few fun widgets that start off as these internal experiments. And for example, one of them that I'm excited to share is this greeting card widget. So I have a greeting card here from Tom. It's to Dylan. I'll press the button to peel to open it. And it's going to open up.
这个还挺好看的。
All right. I think it's going to turn over. And it says, good luck in the live demo, no pressure. Thank you, Tom. We also have here a voice memo widget from Versabel. And I'll play it right now.
Hey, Dylan, have you mentioned how easy it is to build widgets?
That's right. Thank you, Versabel. It is very easy to learn about widgets. And if you want to hear more about these widgets,
白板支持的格式更多元了。
8:45 p.m.
这以后老板提意见都不用敲字了呀。
所以我静音它可以不？
不太行，你稍微声小一点就行了。你要全静音就没有氛围了。
我好像调不了声音大小。
哦，好吧。
哎 ，Figma 了，我要全屏了。
之前不是有一个 Figma， 然后直接直播语音的功能吗？
I can copy that code, and I can add some logic in. And this is basically the code that is needed to render a widget. Hopefully, this makes it even easier to go from concepts in Figma to widgets in FigJam.
6啊。
All right, there's one more section here. Let's check what it says. And it says, shall we move on to some exciting new stuff in Figma?
Yay!
All right,
Yay!
Let's do it.
Yay!
I'm going to open up my Figma demo here. And for today's Figma demos, we're going to be diving into a number of use cases that use the Nike Podium design system. So here we are in Figma, and we're taking a look at designs for the Nike Run Club app. This app tracks your running progress and provides weekly coaching plans. And you're going to see right here that we have a number of cards for each day of the week. These cards are stacked vertically, which is a perfect application for auto layout. If you don't know what auto layout is, as a quick refresher, auto layout allows you to define direction, padding, and spacing direction for stacks. So I think it's fair to say, personally, based on a lot of user feedback, that auto layout is probably one of Figma's most feared features. We've heard loud and clear that it's one of the most complex parts of Figma. We also know that users of auto layout want more power. Today, we're announcing a redesigned auto layout, which is going to be both easier to use and also more powerful. The first thing you'll notice is the layer order on the canvas. Oops. If I go right here, the layer order on the canvas is reflected in the layers panel. And this might seem like a small thing, but previously this was reversed, and we heard a ton of feedback that this was confusing. So now it's fixed. Next, you can see that we now visualize spacing between objects on the canvas. It makes it easier to identify which frames have auto layout. At Figma, we love the idea of direct manipulation. And we want to make it easy to edit spacing in context, without having to look back and forth. The layers panel and properties panel. So you can simply scrub
对，他这
values
次发布完
and
之
change
后，
spacing
我
now
们有很多设
right
计图
on
都要改一
canvas.
下。
That's the way you can figure out just what's right. You can even hold Shift if you want to, and it will respect your nudge settings in Figma. You can see that for some reason I'm set up to a 10-point nudge rather than 8. I'll change that later. And of course, you can change padding on the canvas as well. So if I go down here, I can
所
change my
以大家
padding.
刚刚留意
I
到
can
说他
also
演
press
示的
Alt
Figma 是黑
to
暗
change
模式，
padding on both sides at the same time.
哦吼，
Now, if I want to be more
可以啊
precise, I
然后
can
这个黑
click,
暗模式感觉应该是会
and
出
that
一个
will
开关
directly
了。
change
或者
the value of the
插
padding
件
right on the
freehand，
canvas
然
without
后
having to go to the
要被
public page.
弄到官方
There's
了。
no layout change we made.
小老虎说话了。
对对对，这就是我之前做的那个freehand 插件，然后
哇，
它的功能
声音好好听啊！
它的功能被弄到 Figma 官方了，然后我就只能把它删掉了。现在。
哦，把你那个插件学过去了。
对对对对。Direct manipulation 直接操控。
让他给你版权费。
没有没有没有，其实也是做了一些贡献，相当于我很开心。哦，这个地方要听的，这个地方要听的，草帽。
OK。
Brand new capabilities to auto layout. So let's go over to our plans page to take a look. Here we are looking at the plans page, and each card represents a different run. These cards have a pretty typical auto layout setup, where there's an image on top and a frame with some text below, all in a vertical arrangement. Now let's say that we want to add a headline here and this new badge as well. So if I select both, drag them onto the auto layout frame, you'll see that it respects the stack order and it pushes the content down. Unfortunately, this is not what we want. So sometimes people solve for this by making additional frames, but this makes our design way more complex. To address this problem, today we're announcing absolute positioning for auto layout. And you can turn auto layout absolute positioning on by pressing this button on the upper right-hand side.
0 frames 掉喽。
And when I do that, it will now make it so that absolute positioning is enabled. And I can drag this around in a freeform way exactly where I want without following the rules of the auto layout stack. And I'm going to take this new button. I'm going to put that badge on the upper right-hand side.
Nice.
There we go. So now that the cards look the way we want, let's add them back into our plan section. So I'm just going to drag them over and drop them in. Now, the current stacked arrangement is nice, but I kind of want to explore a few more options. For example, it'd be cool if we had sort of a wallet-esque interface where instead of having to scroll down through all the cards, the user could kind of shuffle through them and have them be more overlapping instead. Lucky for us, the second thing we're announcing today that auto layout now supports is negative spacing between items. So we can simply scrub on up on the canvas.
负间距，负间距。
终于来了，
终于
来
了，终于有了负间距，天哪！
I've scrubbed up on the canvas. I can get it to exactly where I want with my negative spacing. This makes it really useful not only for vertical stacks, but for horizontal as well. So it's great for horizontal face piles. So in summary, we've updated auto layout with a new UI, on-canvas controls, and improved stack order. We've also introduced more type controls, absolute positioning, and negative spacing. We hope this makes auto layout a lot more simple and powerful for all of you. One more powerful is always the balance behind us, right? Okay, next, let's shift our attention to this run detail screen. These screens give duration, distance, and pacing information about a specific run that is selected by the user. And this example here has a similar treatment to before, where there's a headline on top of a background image. It's a typical situation where if you have an existing type style from your design system, it may have been optimized for use on a solid color background. And you might want to make some typographic tweaks and make sure the text stays legible on a busier background as well. So today, we're making this easier by adding variable font support in Figma. Honestly, variable fonts are just so cool. And ever since they've come out, I've loved them in Figma. So I'm really glad we're finally launching this feature. For example, we have Helvetica Now there supported and in play here on the text panel. If we go into our type settings, I can switch over to variable and
这个也来了，这个也来了。
if I take the weight here,
啊，它终于支持可
I
变
can
字
see
体
actually on
了。
this type space panel all the different controls I have. So
但是我们中文
I
字
can
体用
actually
不了
control the
啊。
weight and just
中
all
文
the
也有
way
支持可变字体的哟。
Airline version
没有，
to
那难度太大了。
bold
4
version.
元可以的，4元可以的。
I also have the ability to control the
好
width.
吧，
它在
We can go
Sketch
from
上已经支持
version
了。
all the way
Sketch
back to
我知道。
regular width again.
嗯，
Lastly, we can control optical size as well with a slider. And this enables us to transition between different versions of the font that are optimized for different sizes. If we move to the left end of the scale, we get a version of the font optimized for very small sizes. We move to the right end of the scale, we get a version optimized for display or headline sizes. We can also just check this checkbox. And now, if I scrub and make my fonts bigger or smaller, Figma will automatically update the size of the optical size automatically in order to make it just right. Okay, so we also want to make sure that this text looks good on this adjacent screen. However, there's a dark overlay blocking us from selecting the text. You've probably been in situations like this before. And yes, of course, I could go to my layers panel, I could open this, I could find the title, but who wants to do that? Sometimes you can go right in and select the text. So today we're announcing that you can have we had a long feature for a long time called outline mode. And today we're announcing an improvement to outline mode that will enable you to grab behind objects.
Dang, that's
Go directly to this text. And you can just press Shift-O to enter outline mode to be able to see a skeleton X-ray version of your design.
你可以从后边拿
Now,
出来。
I no longer flag selection. I can make a selection and return right to what I'm doing. That's not all. There's so much more that's covered in this outline mode. I'm especially excited about the way we've improved the Boolean off treatment as well as stroke styles. And so if you're interested in hearing more about all the other fun improvements we have to outline mode,
一会儿我打回去看。
during Lauren and Heather's talk at the break at 1:45 p.m. Pacific time today. All right, now that we've looked at Nike Run Club a bit, let's check out another experience supported by Nike Podium. That's sneakers. No, I'm not talking about the 1992 thriller movie worshipped by Marchin on the Figma design team. No, sneakers is a shopping experience that gives members fair, secure access to Nike's most coveted drops. All right, so on the right-hand side, here I am in sneakers.
他刚才只是说完 Nike 了。
Right here. You'll notice that we have a common tab pattern at the top. We have some tabs with UI controls stacked underneath. And when you're designing interfaces like this, it's sometimes helpful to add a subtle divider. Some people will use a line or a rectangle. And there are even some out there wild people who use inner shadow effects for this use case, which it totally was not designed for. We did not make inner shadow effects for that. Today, I'm excited to share the madness is going to finally stop. We're excited to announce individual strokes. It's been a request we've heard forever. With individual strokes, you're going to be able to control all four sides of an object. The default behavior is the same. I can go in and add a stroke, but now I can also choose all top, bottom, left, right. I go to custom.
独立描边了。
I can make it so that I can stroke it however I want to on different sides. In this case, I actually bottom. So I'll do that, and I'll select the Nike gray as well.
哇，这太舒服了。
I'm going to go into my feed. I'm going to add additional strokes here. I'll make it weight 2. And I'm going to make this on the bottom as well.
哇，太棒了！
Nike red. Now I've got a great way to show the selection state.
这样点击区域其实
我们的标注的交付要改什么东西？
Proud to say it's very axe and adding annoying extra objects to the canvas. I'm glad that those days are hopefully finally over. All right. Next, let's look at some screens that have some animation. I'm going to scroll over here to the right and go into prototype mode. Over here, we have our Gotham sequence. And this is an exciting flow for users because it means that they're seeing the screen, they got that pair of shoes they really wanted. And what's happening here is that we're using Smart Animate to transition between 3 different states. You have the state on the left, then we have a dissolve in for our sneakers coming in, And then we've got the text dropping in from the top. And the text as it drops, we really want it to feel like it has some gravity to it. We want it to kind of give it a little bounce, maybe have some physics. So right now, if I click on our prototype, you'll see that we have a pretty basic curve that kind of slows down at first and speeds up. But maybe we want to make this more realistic and have more weight to the text. Today, in order to do this, we're announcing an addition to Smart Animate. This will allow you to create spring animations in Figma. We have a number of different presets here as well, from gentle to quick to bouncy to slow, all the way to custom spring. And just to make sure that we really know how this works, I will make this a really nice spring animation here. And I'm going to go into our prototype, and I go in. I can now see how that looks. Maybe that was like a little too much. So instead, let's see what the presets look like. We've got gentle spring here. We have quick spring. A bouncy spring. Not as bouncy as mine. And we've got a custom one we've just tweaked already to make it just right. Before we leave the prototype viewer, though, I want to share another new feature with you. A lot of times, we're sharing prototypes to get feedback or conduct a user test. And for a lot of security-conscious companies, freelancers, and agencies, making a link public is just not an option. Today, we're announcing password-protected links in Figma, available on all paid plans. So we go into these share settings. You can see right now it's shared with a few people. And if I want to make it so that it has now a password that protects the link, I can go from anyone with a link to anyone with a link and password.
Also the password.
Press save. And now if I share this with anyone, they'll have to enter the password in order to access the prototype. Everything will be safe and secure.
Wow!
Okay.
我现在就把我的 Squarespace 给取消掉，明年不付钱了。
For this next demo, we're going to talk about design systems. So let's head over to Nike's Podium Design System library. And as we look through this library, you'll notice that the team at Nike is absolutely meticulous in organizing and documenting their design system. It's truly impressive. And I'm glad to be able to share it with all of you. Heading to this button section, we can see the button component set, which was created using Figma's variant feature. And you can see here we have a lot of different states. We have primary buttons, secondary buttons. We've got different icon configurations. They're small, they're large, they're medium, enabled, disabled, light, dark. This is a really large set of components. And today, in order to help manage this complexity, we're excited to announce a new feature that builds on variants called component props. Component props makes it so that a button set like this is easier to manage. And it makes it easier to consume a design system as well. OK, if I flip over to this button refactor branch and go down to buttons, you can see right here that we've been able to reduce this button from 108 variants just to 36. Way easier to manage if you're working on a design system. And to get a sense for what's happening, let's look at a simpler case. We'll go to this single button up here. This button is pretty simple. I've got an icon on the left. I have the text in the middle. And on the left, we have this icon that can be toggled on or off. So I'm going to add an instance swap property for this icon, and I'll call it icon. I'm also going to add a layer visibility property called icon left. And then for this text, I'll create a content property or a text property. And I'll call that label. OK, now if I create an instance, you can start to see how this works. On the right-hand side here, I have my icon, which I can click and switch to a different instance. Oops. I can also disable or enable the icon in the first place for my layer visibility. And if I disable the layer visibility, you'll notice that the other icon ability to switch the instance does not show up anymore. Lastly, I can change that label in the properties panel. So to show the full built-out button, I'll go back here to the Seekers app. And I can select these two buttons, go back to design mode, and you can see all the different props on the right-hand side. I can toggle the icon on the right or left.
我舒服了。
Here is on the left.
我舒服了。
And I can swap it for something maybe that's more appropriate, because this is the part where we've got our shoe, and now we're going to schedule where to pick it up. And so I'm going to change this icon on the left-hand side to a calendar instead. And
这一下组件简单了好多啊。
变体少一些。
终于不像之前一个一个切一排，然后切到后面的时候自己都晕掉了。
对啊，好舒服啊。
I'll change this text to choose this store. There you go. So
这个有点像 Figma 的那个，
Sketch， 对，
像 Figma 的那个单独修改组件的内容。
Easier for to maintain your libraries and also use them as well. There's so much more power behind component props. I'm barely scratching the surface right now. If you want to see more, and if you can stay awake, tune into Tom's talk at 5:45 a.m. Pacific time during the break. That's tomorrow. Whew, okay, let's take a quick demo intermission. We have a few features to share with you super fast. Number one, we know it's important for you to have your favorite files at your fingertips. So we've now made it easier for you to favorite a file and have it show on the left-hand side.
好了，
怎么卡了？
好了，
主持人，
茂哥，茂，
小猫。
Indicate what state a branch is currently in.
啊
Number three,
刚卡了一
we've
下。
made a number of improvements to our international keyboard shortcuts.
我卡了。
你直播间也卡
现。在好了。
Commands that are previously inaccessible should work. This is available now in beta. We'd love your input. All right. We also understand how important accessibility is. We know we have a lot of work to do.
现在好了。
We're starting to make some small steps in improving the
好了。
accessibility of Figma. You'll see more over the next 6 to 12 months, but today we're pleased to ship an improved WCAG 3.0 compliant color scheme to Figma. This should improve color contrast ratios and, y'all, is it possible to get the lights turned back on? Anyone? Okay, well, maybe it's the perfect share. As many of you have already noticed, that Figma now has dark mode. We know so many people have asked. Let me give you the choice.
哎呀，刚才
Figma
看
Config B refine every surface Figma's UI, the file browser, the editor. Also, Figma developers can now update their plugins to support dark mode. We cannot wait to hear what you think. All right, one last thing. I've been up here demoing all sorts of stuff, and you might say I've been in the spotlight, but Figma is all about collaboration and sharing the spotlight with others. Today, we're announcing an improvement to the way that multiplayer works. All right, you can see that we're in here, and someone is requesting the spotlight. Here we go, Jake. And after this loads, I will now be following Jake in observation mode. I can follow him around, and you can see that people are typing. Yay, config. And we're all able to watch together in this file. At any point, I can also click my own avatar and press spotlight. And now people will start following me. And as I move around, they'll now be observing me as I have the spotlight. We think this will make it so your multiplayer sessions in Figma and FigJam are even better. All right, that's a wrap. Everything that we've announced today is available for use right now. Here's a recap. FigJam widgets, widget cogenerator plugin, auto layout, variable fonts.
就这些了。
哎，他居然没有讲一个特别重要的东西，难道这没出吗？
Password protected links.
那个组件管理是吗？
啊，不是组件管理，他这次居然没有讲那个就是描边站位的事情哎。
他讲了呀。
讲了吗？描边站位不是单描边，是描边站位。
那没有，那他没讲。
一个 button 是22高，然后上下是1px 的 border， 这样的话它总共就会是24px， 这个他没讲哎，我看看现在有没有。
还有一个我看你当时发那个测试版的，它有一个现在是 Shift 加 I 调起那个组件面板，然后可以切换到那个插件，它多了一个插件面板，那个好像也没有讲。
啊，是的。
我觉得他那个一定是看到了我的 EX，
已经是击掌了，我天呐！
因为毕竟 Figma 都已经警告说 EX 这个不能用注入了，对不对？他肯定看到，不然他怎么会？
我在预览这个单边秒边，美滋滋。
哎，实际上大家可以看到，现在这个刚才他漏讲了一个，就是在那个 Auto Layout 里边啊，Auto Layout 里边点开3个点，然后里边其实是已经有了那个strokes 是 included in layout 还是 excluded from layout， 也就是说你的 strokes 现在是可以被算在那个尺寸里了。
哦，那可能他确实漏讲了。
对，这是一个很大的功能，真的。
对。
是他没看见提词器，还是自己给忘了？
而且它默认是不算秒边的。
对，默认是不算秒边。
对，这还是之前的默认格式吗？
哎，他是不是现在在讲啊？来个声音。
没了。
It started.
First thing, if you haven't already, please design your config 2022 badge during the conference. Create and publish to the community today. Not only that, but you can also add your conference badge to the config platform by heading to the attendee tab on the config site. That's config.figma.com. You can upload your name tag and find other attendees that way.
All right, Mihika, let's show them ours. I see that you added your favorite FigJam features, which is very on point, that were dropped a few weeks ago for FigJam's birthday, right? Also, your favorite food is it actually FigJam?
Yes, it is a match made in heaven. And yours, of course, Professor Figma, aka Miggy from Figgy. My favorite part is the portrait illustrated by one of the members of the Figma community. Not to mention, I cannot wait for your talk on auto layout later today.
Thank you. I was really honored to be blessed with such an amazing drawing by one of our community members. True story, I was a design professor before joining Figma. Okay, so one of the best things about working on these name tags for config is pairing up with our community to do so. So big shout outs to Alex, Beatrice, Bruno, Clue, Dylan, Ebibote, John, Tuchu, Val, and Julia for helping us come up with this year's template. We're excited to see everyone's name cards pop up all over social media. So, speaking of today, let's talk about how Config 2022 will work. We know that 24 hours is a lot to take in, so let's break it down. You will see the speakers on 2 stages. Stage 1, where we are right now, and Stage 2. You can navigate between the 2 by clicking on the talks in the left-hand navigation. Left, left, left. Yeah, see it? All right, cool. We created an easy cadence to follow through the conference. We have 2 talks back to back, and then a big break. All breaks will be here on Stage 1. Mihika, what do you think will be happening during the breaks?
I mean, Miggy, what's not happening during the breaks? You can expect behind-the-scenes looks into new features, talks by our fellow Figmates, even the occasional poem or 2. Other than that, you've heard of the Academy Awards, but have you heard of the Figma Community Awards? In case you missed it, we launched Figma Community Awards for the first time this year. Join our amazing community team and go learn about the nominees to cast your vote before it closes.
哦，现在还可以投票哎！现在居然还可以投票。
We'll play trivia for a chance to win Figma swag, including that awesome new config gear, and we will be shipping it anywhere in the world.
All right. So you can't just say swag drop and not do one, right? But also, who called it a swag drop and not a drip drop? Am I right?
So right.
All right. So naming aside, what better time to give away free stuff than right this moment? I don't know a better time, so let's do it.
What?
Okay. So for our newly dubbed drip drop is a bundle of 3, a config hat, a multi-cursor pin, and white Figma socks. These socks are the best, I'm telling you. I love them. I probably have them on right now, but you would never know. You'll see a pop-up, answer it correctly, and you'll be answered into a chance to win this whole bundle. Mihika, since this is going to be a FigJam-centric question, do you mind doing the honors?
I'd be glad to, Miggy. Is everyone ready? Yeah, you sure? All right. The first swag drop question just so happens to be about the first feature I shipped at Figma, washi tape. For those of you who don't know, FigJam recently added digital washi tape as a feature. So our question is, what year was physical washi tape invented? Is it A, 720 AD, B, 1935, C, 1997, or D, 2006? Use the poll pop-up, participate. If you get it right, you will be entered for a chance to win.
All right, so we gotta give them an opportunity to vote.
So cast your vote. You'll see the poll. It's in the config chat. Get in your answers, A, B, C, or D. You have a 25% chance of getting it right. Unless you're a washi tape enthusiast, then you may have a bit of a leg up. Okay, the poll is closing in 5,
4,
3,
2,
1.
All right.
All right. While traditional washi tape was invented in Japan over 1,300 years ago, physical washi tape was invented as recently as 2006. Other important stats for all of you washi tape lovers out there. Digital washi tape was first conceptualized by our beloved friend and former config speaker, Mei Li, in February 2021. We launched it for 24 hours on April 1st this year for Figma's April Fun Day. 224,000 pieces of tape later, and many, many Twitter please later, we launched washi tape for real on FigJam's first birthday on April 21st. As a side note, FigJam's first birthday is also how Miggy and I here became friends.
That is true.
Well, that was so fun. We'll pick a few winners.
Washi tape 就是手账用的胶带。
Right after config. If you didn't get it right, have no fear. This is one of your many drip drops throughout the day. You'll get a chance to win plenty more times.
Now that you all know how the polls work in the platform, let's talk about a few other things that you can do.
We are now going to walk you through the procedures for the Config 2022 conference. Miggy and I are here for your amusement. You can participate in the chat, which is located on the right-hand side. You can minimize it to avoid distractions or keep it open full time.
就是新功能发布之后，他们要维持这个
There you'll find current and upcoming talks. Please be sure to check your own audios correctly functioning before helping it. The event of a scheduling emergency, always open the speaker or agenda tabs to check out the entire agenda or learn more about the speakers. You can visit the attendee tab to learn who else is here. And should you ever somehow get disconnected, you can always head back to config.figma.com and log back in. We wish you a pleasant 24-hour journey.
Okay, now that is not all. It is incredibly important for us to create an inclusive space for all attendees. Our work in this space isn't quite done yet, and we'll continue to make changes as we grow. This config, you'll notice a few things. You'll have the ability to opt in and out of sign language. Simply do so by clicking that sign language tab above. We'll have sign language available for all 24 hours wherever possible. We'll also have international sign language to accommodate as many folks as possible. You will also have the ability to choose captions in 9 different languages. Live translation and captioning is very, very difficult. So we know it won't always be flawless, but we think that this is an important start. Lastly, to give you a chance to follow along with content, we'll drop the slides as handouts throughout the program so you can follow along.
To answer our most frequently asked question, yes, this content will be recorded. We will share it out on YouTube early next week. We encourage you to take in as much as you're able to over the next 24 hours, but we don't expect you to join us for the whole time. We'll take nap breaks too, of course. You'll get notified as soon as the recordings are live via social and on email. We are so excited to have you all here in this virtual space. Remember, we have a code of conduct, and it is as important online as it is in person. Remember, our speakers have worked really hard to prepare content for you. So please be respectful to each other, and above all, please be kind. If you have an uncomfortable experience or see any violations about our code of conduct, we want to hear about it. Email community@figma.com. We'll be on standby throughout the event and to remove anyone that isn't following our code of conduct.
Okay, and I really want to stress that be kind. We're on a number of different live streams that I've performed on. You know, people want to share this or that. They want to give their opinions. Make sure that you're respectful of others in these virtual spaces. We want to make sure that this is a safe and fun and comfortable event for everyone that's here. So we are very excited to get this kicked off. We have amazing talks that are going to be coming for you today at 9 a.m. Pacific time, it's coming up pretty soon.
Well, Maggie, right before we head over into those talks, I think we can talk a little bit about our own experiences here at Figma.
Oh, absolutely.
So let's be real. Part of what makes Figma and FigJam so special is that we really infuse the product with a lot of fun. Now, FigJam launched this year, this time. Can you tell us a little bit about behind the scenes for the...
新功能反正就没了，后面就没啥了。
对，然后那个 dark mode 不知道怎么找的话，可以直接 command 加那个斜杠，然后直接搜 dark mode 就可以。它有一个，我搜了之后，它出现了一个 use dark mode。
我搜过了。那想换回来呢
？Use light mode， 这不是有吗 ？Use light mode， 第二个就是，对，
我的妈呀，居然没有自动。
靠你的教程了。
左上角菜单有的，你打开左上角菜单，然后点 Preferences， 不，那个 Figma 的那个小图标，对，然后 Preferences 倒数第3个，然后倒数第2个 Theme，
好麻烦呀！
倒数第2个，对，就在这里。
还不如直接敲呢。
不麻烦，其实那设置人基本都是在这儿。
哎，你打开那个标注，不是标尺，我看它那个优化了吗？
标尺没有，露馅了。
好，它果然是没有这个没有优化完，我还以为它会可能再优化一段时间，把这个优化完了再上线。
查查观察挺仔细啊。
扛不住了，官方扛不住了。
那我看一下，我们来捋一下吧。FigJam 就过了 ，Auto Layout 更新了，可变字体，这个是什么情况？我没看懂。
Command 加 Y 那个线框模式可以直接把任何的图层从后边给抓出来，这个挺好的。
哦，哎，这个有点像阅文，我不是打广告，阅文里边有一个线框模式。它是不管你被多少层遮挡之后，只要你能看到那个框能点到，它就能拿出来。哦，这个真的很像哎。
抄你的。
对。
小茂，你可以试试把一个字给放到这些图片后边去，然后给它压到下边去，然后看能不能抓出来。
好，试一下啊。放下面。
放图片的下面。
就是在图片被图片挡住，
物理层的下面，
我直接这样行
不行？对，就是这样。
可以。
对。
哪呀？哎，有。
然后你把那个以色列抓出来，你看。
可以的。
不然的话是点不到的。
对。
那这跟我们的功能一毛一样，就是抄我的，实锤。
真棒呀，这个。
所以是更新了这个，然后单描边儿，
对，弹簧，
就只是弹簧，
动画，
就相当于 Smart 的，就是多了一个动效嘛。
就那个动画，
对 ，Figma 的这个动效参数是可以被开发看到的，
对，
但仅仅是看到的。就现在 JSON 这块还没法导出。
对。
这是个 Pro 功能，就是分享的单密码分享。
所有付费的都可以使用。
就 Pro 以上嘛。这个叫什么呢？这个叫组件集吗？
这个是组件属性。
是什么？
组件属性。
那个。所以就是把 Sketch 那边的给拿过来。
组件属性目前有3个，一个就是显影图层，还有一个就是文字， 然后还有一个，你可以创建一个你就知道了。还有一个是什么来着？Let's see properties。哦，对，还有一个就是快捷切换实例，就这3个。
这个之前更新过了，他也提了一下，是吧？Real，这个是组织版，
组织的状态。
组织版键盘的，这咋的了？这是键盘快捷键，这什么意思？
英特尔的键盘的快捷键吗？还就是说，可能对于欧洲的那种乱七八糟的键盘布局来说，
我看到有一个好像是什么德文还是什么的键盘字符，然后它有一个优化。
对。
那其实也没啥。
大概就这样。
最下面这个，相当于是增强了多人协作里面。
对，就是一个人可以，怎么说？这个
提醒让你多来看我。
对，
就是把大家就相当于一个分享屏幕，
是强制。
对，强制把大家就是固定在一起一个视图里面看东西。
强制吗？我不点都不行。
对，你没有操作
啊，所以上面是一个倒计时，然后时间到了就。
我觉得这个更像远程，大家跟开会一样，然后
对，
让大家的注意力都在这个地方。
对，
我看它上面有一个条啊，我记得
有吗？
它那个应该是共享屏幕的时间吧，就是共享你这个 spotlight 的时间。
对，1、2、3、4、5、6、7、8、9、10那样计秒。
对。
原来共享。
就就你开会的时候，它也会有计时，然后它这个强制共享屏幕也会有计时，是一样的。
然后，哇，重磅功能，我再勾一个啊，还有什么？大家觉得呢？单边肯定是
individual stroke, right? Variable fonts, I'm not sure because the other apps all have this feature already.
对。
我看教育版也是可以加密码的。
教育版也可以。
教育版按理说也算是付费团队。
绝对定位，小老虎今天4.0的插件已经有绝对定位了。
Auto layout，yeah, absolute position。
所以，我采访一下小老虎，他更新完之后，你的那个蚂蚁组件库是不是要更新了？
我1个半月之前已经更新了。
你更新完了吗？
我1个半月之前已经更新完了。
哇，那所以你那个文件到社区现在拿到最新的就已经适配官方最新版了。
对。
不愧是小老虎。
你更新了多久啊？我感觉你那个工作量1俩月吧。
那个工作量有点恐怖。
所以大家拿到头疼嘛，就是既开心又痛苦。明天就开心的工作了。
今天老板一看我啥也没做，然后问我干啥了，我说 Figma 昨天更新了，我在改。
我在重新做组件库。
就是。
我们插件有好多要改的呀。
他那个按钮那块确实要有挺多更新。
哪个按钮？
就他那个按钮不是设置属性那块。
那个
组件库里目前全是重复的。
Component properties you're talking about。
关键是这一改之前连接的那么多就很头疼，怎么弄？
对
真的好烦。要删重新念。
Figma 这一点就是你如果一开始让用户做那么多，然后他已经实例化了以后，然后他再把多的那些删掉，可以删，但是他的那些实例就没有办法了，就找不到它的 main component 了。这样。
对，
这是一个
很乱。
都得重新连。
对。
我估计很多人会吐槽。
大型项目确实。
对，项目越大越难。
下次就请一步到位。
我记得他那个 variant 刚出的时候，小老虎就跟我吐槽过。
对，我说真的不要这么搞，以后大家会翻车的。他就让大家这样翻车。
所以
这个用户体验做的不行呀。
现在报应来了。
这也算是学习曲线，就是先让大家从最简单的开始玩明白，然后再一点一点。
Auto layout is a powerful and flexible because there are a lot of button padding settings.
官方教程已经更新了，大家就是着急看了，你看这儿提示嘛，你就直接去官方文档看，然后有视频。
不，我就要看草帽的，我不看官方的。
催更，在线催更。
我也
直播
草帽的，在线催更。
我不爱看官方的，就要看草帽的。
行，那我看官方的。我做之前我肯定要把官方的这些过一遍。
不行，不听草帽的声音我睡不着。
好吧，我都给我说害羞了。
给你说不会了。
对，看一下他这边是啥啊？就开始那个啥了。
是什么马斯洛吗？我一看三角我就想到马斯洛。
Or what I was trying to look up. Now, I hope this little story has frustrated you as much as made you laugh.
那所以我们我们再聊聊还是怎么样？
行呀，聊呀，再聊5块钱的。
那怎么改啊？
看草帽直播做设计。
大哥开关。
小老虎有什么可以分享屏幕啊？给我们看看。
对啊，小老虎也可以分享，小老虎也可以来操作一波。
怎么分享？共享内容。
把你那个插件里面的那个大魔法给我们来秀一下。
我给你权限，这个要给权限的，怎么弄？你应该可以分享了吧？
是。Entire screen， 这样。无法共享屏幕。我要启动那个权限。
然后你还要退出飞书是吗？对，你得退出飞书一下。
或者是你直接把那个 Figma 的链接给他也可以。
然后直接 Spotlight 是吗？
那个看不到他的操作啊，还是
能看到吗 ？Spotlight， 哇，小老虎好快哦！
咋的了？
没有，他直接出去就进来了，超快的。
那我这边怎么？
等一下，你先弄，因为我这个他要下一个客户端，我还要装一下。我刚用的是网页版。
OK， 没事，我们等你。
我们现在是说让小老虎秀一下他新做的那个插件里边的魔法。
这么快？
瞎的。
所以我这边分享就没了，对吧？
一会儿，我就稍微简单说一下，就刚刚它那个功能，就是在Pro Layout Panel 里边，其实可以比较快捷的实现的，就是我们先说一个。
你能顺便再演示一下你的 4.0 吗？就是结合着新的功能，然后再结合一下你的 4.0， 一起给我们演示一下，学习一下。
可以啊，首先就是 Position Relative 和 Absolute 这个绝对定位，然后比如说这个之前其实我也把那个文件泄露过，然后这样一点就可以，然后它就是 Absolute 了。然后这样的话，之前你可以看到它是左上角对齐的constraints， 然后现在的话就是摁住 Command 可以给它加上约束，这样的话它不但是绝对定位，而且它还会跟着这个负极缩放，拉伸，对，这个是一个点，然后 OK， 然后接下来的话还有就是他没有讲基线对齐，他居然没有讲基线对齐，比如说现在我不知道这个东西对中文有没有什么用啊，但我们如果要是用数字的话，其实做数据大屏，比如数字的话还是有用的，比如说那你要选中它的负极，然后这边的话有一个顶对齐、中对齐、下对齐，但其实下对齐的话，你可以看到这些 letter 它没有真正的对齐，只有基线对齐的时候，它才是同一个人。看这个蓝色的线才是从这个地方对齐的，可以拉一个尺子过来。
基线对齐真的是用户福音。
而且这个
官方是上了对吧？
而且这个是动态，对，它已经上了。你看动态的就只要这东西就是有一个其他的基线就跟着它走，永远都是基线对齐，动态的，所以这个功能还不错。
之前一直拉线对齐。
考虑那个文本框的高度了。
对，再有就是这个堆叠的顺序也挺好，最左边的是这个黄的。然后第二个是这个粉的，然后这样它这个就按照顺序来了，上下也是一样的，这个挺好。就比如说，
它之前是反的是吧？
纵向，对，它之前是反的。你看现在第一个就在第一个，第二个就在第二个。这个因为刚才Dylan说有太多人吐槽了，本身Figma不想改。然后更好的一点是说，它现在可以反向堆叠，也就是说，比如说我现在这个 stacking， 大家可以看到，我先把它弄到横向。这是左压右，对不对？这个按钮它有一个右压左，那现在就是右压左，
太方便了。
这个考虑的很周全啊，而且顺序没有变。
对，顺序没有变，图层的顺序没有变，这是很关键的一点，非常棒。然后这个其实在插件里边做的话是比较容易的，但是你要在这边原生的话，你要点这个一下，然后这边的话有一个对 Canvas Stacking 再点一下。然后选这个，然后再点一下，它这个路径
埋的深了一点，
对，埋的比较深，好，就这些，好，我分享结束。
太快了吧，还想看？
啊，真的结束了啊？
大家看草帽。
没有，我啥也不知道呢，我现在一脸懵，我还得看文档。
没有，草帽本着不误
不是
人子弟的原
分享一下你刚才说的那个右边属性那块儿。
属性吗？
对。
属性其实OK，那我分享一下。属性的话，其实就是它有一个比较怪的一点，就是我不知道它为什么会跟现在的变体会粘到一起。就比如说我做一个组件，然后 OK 这边它会有 properties， 这是一个新的一个面板区域，之前没有。然后也就是说直接就可以这样创建的时候，这个 boolean 呢，它唯一作用就是显和隐，它没有任何其他的作用，就是它只能针对图层做显隐，这个我挺失望的其实。所以它只能作为图层的显隐来用。那你可以给它一个默认值，然后这样的话，好，接下来的话我们就要跟它说我图层的显隐要针对谁，比如说我现在针对它，然后这地方的话在 layer 右边这儿有一个这个小按钮，点一下的话就可以用刚才的这个 boolean 这个显隐，然后这样的话呢，它的实例的时候就会出来这个 boolean， 然后它就有这个显隐。然后它好的一点就是说，如果是 base 来做的话，你这边引掉，大家应该之前有经验，这边如果我手动去引这个图层的话，这边它是不会跟着变的，对不对？那个是很恶心的。现在的话，你要是用这个 property， 它就可以变，对，它就可以跟着变，它永远都是同步的，不会丢。然后而且不光是一个，你还可以，因为它是一个 boolean 嘛，你还可以给它用到很多不同的图层上。比如说这边也可以给它用到这个图层上，那还是一样到 layer 这边它 boolean 已经关联了，因为我是复制过来的。假如说我在这边随便画一个，那么 layer 这边一样，你可以选刚才这个 boolean， 然后这样的话呢，那一个 toggle 它其实就控制3个，所以你可以
相当于是一组是吧？
对，因为你可以创建无限多个那个 property， 对，你还可以创建一个 boolean，那这个的话可以叫它 right， 然后给它给改成 right， 这样的话，那 right 就控制 right， 这个就控制 left， 这样，然后
好棒啊！
对，它唯一的用途其实就是显隐图层，也就是说大家注意啊，就这个地方其实挺恶心的，它的隐藏图层其实还是会特别多，还是会特别多。
它其实靠图层了隐藏和显示来控制，只是增加了一个快捷方式。
对，其实插件也可以做到的这个东西。然后呢，其他的还好一些，比如说但也有点鸡肋，比如说这个 text 啊 ，text 的话其实是可以给它加一个这个叫做这叫做它不会是个 boolean 啊，怎么会是 boolean 呢？奇了怪了。对， text 的话要在底下的 content 这个地方加，你看这个图标是一样的，大家不要困惑。如果说在这个 layer 上加的话，它只能是显影 ，layer 只有显影，然后在 content 上加，然后你才可以给它，比如说加一个那个它的专属的文字控制的属性。那么这个
就跟 Sketch 一样了，
对对对对对，文字控制的一个属性。然后在这边的话，它好处是什么？就是说。你多个不同的那个组件的话，可以一起修改，这个之前是不行，这之前是需要插件的。这个是一个好处。其实，在那个编辑组件的时候也是可以的，你也会经常看到那个文字一起修改那个。所以之前有一个叫做 Figma 点库做的那个 Same Text Generator， 那个就可以不用，就那个同文字的同步的那个就可以不用那插件。还有一个就是。Instant Swap， 其实这个才是核心。那比如说，我这个文件目前倒没有做多少组件，但比如说我把这个弄一个 Instant Swap， 我看能不能做。首先它得是一个 Instance 才能有 Instant Swap， 也就是说，现在我们有一个这样的 Instance 出来，然后呢，把这个 Instance 给它放一个这个。instant swap， 然后它会给你一个默认值，默认值的话一般就是当前你选中的这个，然后这样的话呢，它的实例就多了一个这个更换，它的就是组件的这么一个快捷的功能，对，就这个地方嘛，这个地方原本它是一个实例有放的，然后这个实例的话，你可以看到它已经连接到了那个 instance 的那个属性上边。然后它就可以直接就在这儿换。这个用在哪儿比较好呢？我之前做的那个 Design， 我给大家打开一下。最近我因为这个功能，我做了一个那个它新出的 Segmented Control。这个文件可能稍微有点慢。
没事，我们能等。
OK， 你很快啊。好的，
这个
卡了，
对，卡了。这个作者也在的。
我看是你们俩在一起弄这个。
文件好大哦。
对，文件超级大。那个昨天大家都在聊那个腾讯，其实腾讯也是直接 copy 的这个过去改了圆角。那个字节的那个人告诉我。
我记得字节不是 copy 了之后连那个 footer 都忘了改。这个是能播的吗？
腾讯那个是 T Design 是吧？
这个是 Design， 我的 Design。
我知道你刚刚说腾讯那个是 T。
对，腾讯的 T Design， 它参考的其实还是让人觉得挺舒服的。为什么这个 Page Jumper 怎么坏了？如果说我要跳到，比如说 Button， 那我就直接可以这样跳到。我要跳到，我刚才说的是 Segmented， 对，这样的。然后这个的话，你看现在我才有这么一点点这个组件，它其实它的功能不要小看，才这么一点点啊，很多的。比如说我这一个来说，它是否被选中，然后是否是那个禁用，然后它的大中小，加上它有没有 icon， 然后加上它的这个 label 是啥，对吧？其实这么多功能，如果说去咱们传统意义上做的话，有超级多的那个变体列出来。你看现在就这么点，就这么点。那你可以看到我这些其实里边都没有说有没有图标。那有没有图标是怎么来的？其实就是这里边有一个隐藏图层，然后它接上了这个有没有图标的这个property。这样呢 layer 这个 layer 给它接到了 icon， 就是刚才我演示的那个嘛，就创建一个显影图层。就是显影图层，所以这边的话就是，那这个 icon 其实就是让这个东西出现或者是不出现，你看，所以右边的这个就会跟着它同步，就是一个图层的显影。好，那这个的话，是一个点，然后再来就是说用它们组合成一个更大的组件的时候呢，这个比如说我之前的话，我会去做这个。因为它这个 segment control 是一个组，那你可能有的时候有3个，有的时候有10个，有的时候有4个、2个，那我是不是都要做那么多的那个废的变体呢？就之前的话我会去做的，就比如说大家参考我的那个 tabs，
对我都见过。
这些我都把它给弄成金字塔了。
这个好像那种 emoji 拼成的一段段子什么的那个东西。
对，
还能拼个表情。
然后所以说这个的话就是说这样的话呢，你 item count 这里边就可以直接就从那个2选到10，我记得是对2选到10。然后但是我这边的这个 segmented 我就用了新的方式，那个到时候再更 tabs。新的方式是什么？就是说我这边我把这个 count 你看不再是说1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8，就是我给它连到了我的那个布局块。布局块的话，我就可以直接在这儿去选。比如说我想选8个的话，大家看，然后右边的话就因为之前是5个嘛，多出来了3个，多出来3个，我用 instance utils 一 copy， 然后选中这3个一配，
然后再直接一键切换。哇，还有这种玩法？
对 instance utils 其实挺好玩的，我不知道这大家有没有发现，就是说这2个东西我可以直接给它交换位置 swap 就过去了。然后任何
库真的是一个宝库呀。
对，任何一个东西，比如说我做一个那个组件，然后它的实例拿出来啊，这个是一个实例啊，就是看这个，它是一个实例，然后我把它 copy 的话，我也可以直接把它 paste 在这里这个地方，只不过它没有做自动布局。如果说我把它做了自动布局的话，它就会听从它自身的那个尺寸，然后去称其他的东西，看就这样。对，然后 copy 任何东西可以 copy 可以 paste 这样。把这个可以 copy， 然后 paste， 就多深都可以，就是这样的。
我觉得它用起来跟我用的 Figma 不是一个软件。
对，我们用的不是一个 Figma。
没有，其实这个东西就是我就觉得这样的话就省了很多工作量嘛，你就不用把1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10都列出来了，因为很多时候就真的用户真正用到的那个不是你能够想到的那个样子，比如说 list 列表啊。那么这一个列表的话，那这里边它会用到多少个是不一定的。那所以说你每一个组件难道都要考虑1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10吗？它有时候还要用到11个怎么办？就所以这样的话就减了特别大的工作量。
学习了，
厉害。
instance utils 这个插件，回头我做一个教程视频，这其实就宝库的，对。
对，你刚才那个 copy 跟粘贴我都没用过。但是你刚才那个，比如
出一下。
然后我有个问题啊，
你
刚才那个 swipe 就替换了一下位置，那它原始组件是不是已经脱离控制了？
没，真的不会的，那样做多坑人啊！我不会做那样的事情，我真的不会做那样的事情。你看啊，我们比如说随便选一个这个，你看这些的话，每一个它有这么多变体，然后如果说假如说我把其中的某一个把这个变体给做了一些这个变化，然后它怎么不称啊？哦，对，这我就没让它称。然后假如说我这个东西我要在其他的地方用到它，然后呢我就直接把它copy， 然后这样 paste 过去，那就过去了。然后这个东西呢，它的负极和任何一个其他的东西的负极都是同一个。你看我点这个它能跳过去，就能证明它任何问题都没有。任何问题都没有。
我缺的是手吗？我缺的是一个脑子。
任何问题都没有。然后如果说就是 swap 这2个交换一下位置，然后你也可以看到它就交换位置，然后任何问题都没有。它的腹肌就是
这个插件我就没有玩明白。
它的腹肌就是这个这个当时我编辑菜单的时候其实是比较常用的，像那个 package 这边就是这个，这个大家做这个的时候啊，这个就比较好玩了。就比如说我这个东西已经展开了，对不对？展开了的话，其他的就那有的时候老板说，哎呀，我要换个位置，把这个给它放到第3个吧。那你怎么办呢？那正常的情况下，尤其是我这些都是那个实例啊，对不对？整个一个，你看我整个一个这啥？这叫 cider， 整个一个 cider 都是一个实例4个单的，就你动不了。然后这样的话呢，那你就比如说老板说，把它放到第3个去，好，放到第3个，搞定。
这太舒服了吧？
但你之前
这样换的话，你点慢一点。
你之前这样换的话，不是就没了吗？
就没啊，我也没，他是完美的，他爸爸还是这个。
他爸爸，你是我爸爸。
这个其实真的是很不错的一个。
但是这个跟 slot 不是一个东西，对吧？
这跟 slot 不是一个，这是这个插件做出来的时候的第一个功能。
啊，好吧，我当时就没弄明白。
还挺好的。
又有视频更了啊！
又有视频更了，草帽。
对，就这些都是组件，你看这些都是 card 组件嘛。card 组件的话，我直接把其中的一个实例，就整个都是一路都是实例下去，大家可以看纯紫，然后看我这边图层就可以看到这个菱形到里边全是菱形，到里边还是菱形，那这就证明它一路都是实例啊。那我为什么就之前因为俊哥说不要一路都是实例，你会掉坑里摔死的，但是他说的对，但是如果你要是用 instance utils 的话就没有这问题。
有插件就没事了。
我又卡住了，这个文件有点大。顺便那个
是，
它有一个就是我做了两种粘贴方式，一个是带复写粘贴，一种是不带复写粘贴，也是比较好用的一个功能。比如说带复写是啥意思呢？比如说我先用这个紫的做成一个实例，这个白的也是一个实例。那么如果说带复写粘贴，好，我把它里边的这个复写一下，然后假如说我现在要把这个实例给它换成用这个，那么我用 instance utils copy， 按理说直接 paste 的话呢，它就是 paste 的是这个东西，但是如果我现在要是摁住 option 再摁 paste， 它就复写就带过来了。就是不带复写，就是按照它原来的来，就是换个爹就这样。
我还支持快捷键呢。
对，支持快捷键。
隐藏功能这些。
对，隐藏功能。
好厉害，好厉害！赶紧出教程，草帽，赶紧出教程。
好，
这我得研究。
给你了，拜拜。
脑子还没学会。好。那我们就
今天到这里。
好的。
快12点半了。这次直播还是非常超值的。
对，
超值，
都是干货，太干了。
对，
干货在最后，从小老虎开始分享，
还有彩蛋的这种。
小老虎的干货，我觉得比 Figma 的这个官方的 conference 要干一些。
对，总之还是很兴奋的。我看最兴奋的是崔姐，是吧？
我哪儿兴奋了？
就是
全程都很兴奋。
我从开始之前就很兴奋。
对。
那好吧，那感谢大家参与，然后感谢观众们的收看，
感谢
结束吧。
今天晚上还睡吗，草帽？
睡。
别睡了，你睡啥呀？直接出教程吧。
抓紧时间出教程。
明天早上等着看呢。
在线催。
明天李俊的那个文字稿肯定是先出来了，他好像今天晚上要熬夜写。
天哪，这么干的吗？
那你不卷一下吗？人家都熬夜写了，你不得熬夜出视频吗？
对啊，不要卷一下吗？
我这视频我干不过他。
别睡了，你看这弹幕区都等着呢，明天早上7点看教程。
不行，我昨天在
趁热打铁。
没精神，现在我要睡觉。
应该等视频的扣1，然后
等视频的扣1。
需要视频的扣1。
超过10个，今天晚上草帽就不睡了，好吧？
真得先弄上。我明天
瞬间超过10个。
先把咱们的录播给弄上去，比如还有小老虎的那个。
行。
刚才的素材已经有了。
好多一呀，几十个了，几十个。
吓人一觉。
按平1好了。
我睡得着，太困了，昨天睡得少。
你可以不用睡了。
你真的能睡得着吗？满头的一在跑。
对，关键是你今天知道了很多平常不知道的事情，不应该很兴奋吗？
对啊。你说不行，我一定要打开 Figma， 我一定要全部试一遍才行。
不行，但是我昨天还睡了5个多小时，我就今天很没精神。要不然的话，我今天要是睡得好的话，我今天叫的比崔姐声音大。
去你的吧！成，咱俩休息，明天后天吧，后天早上出视频行吗？
我明天肯定要上传一点东西，那今天有东西。
成。
好，
记得把崔姐那段唱歌的留住啊！
我唱啥了？我就唱了一句，别呀，我错了还不行吗？
很好听，很好听。
感谢大家参与啊，我们今天直播就到这儿。
好嘞，好嘞，拜
拜
拜，
拜，
谢谢，拜拜。
我先把直播关了。
拜了个拜。
拜拜。山鬼睡着了吗？